Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another MikeRoeGaming. And today, let's make ourselves a low-poly model. I have some images that I nipped right off the internet. They're not mine, I don't know who they belong to, but we're going to use them, simply because we're going to need some references today. So let's hit Shift A, and let's bring in those pictures by going to Image and Reference. Load that in. He's so beautiful, nice. And let's bring in another one to the side. And let's rotate him by hitting R. That's maybe 90 degrees. 180. There you go. That's where you have, that way you know what your character looks like from two sides. If you want to have the back portion on, you can have that, but I don't think we need it. So the main thing that we're going to be doing is paying more attention to the silhouette of the character. However, one thing to note is we're really not going to worry about these arms too much. This T-pose is a bit not quite what I want. I'd prefer the arms to be going this way, but this is what we have. So we'll be doing the arms separately, it won't really matter. For a good low-poly model, a cap at 600 faces is probably about right. Now that information is located right down here. We're going to hit Select A. And I think we're going to start with probably the torso. I usually like to start with the torso. And we're going to go with the cylinder. Once you bring up the cylinder, you'll look on the bottom left over here. And let's decide how many vertices you want. Since we're going to go for a cap at 600, which I usually like to really go around like 550. And it's really nice. You can go a bit lower if you want, but I think about 550 is fine for a character. I would say you would want to go with 8 faces. You could go with 6 if you really want to, but 8 seems to work perfectly well for me. So select that, and let's get inside this bad boy. We don't need any ingons. That's pointless to us. We're going to get rid of them. So delete the faces. Next, we need to scale it. So hit A, hit S to scale. Well, A to select and S to scale. Scale down a bit. Let's move it up slightly by hitting G. Hit Z to snap to an axis. And let's move it up and down and get it somewhere. And we're just going to be following the general silhouette of this model. It's not going to be exact. We're probably not going to get these lumps, or those lumps, or various other lumps, but you'll get the general idea. And let's line the torso up on the y-axis as well. Let's see, let's start right here at this bendy bit. Right here between the kidneys and the back muscles. And that should be fine. Save. And another thing I would like to do is I don't like to work on one side at a time. I'm going to hit the 3s to select faces, which luckily I already am. Click off, hit B so I can select multiple faces at once. Select them and hit delete. Now if your screen looks like so, not to worry. If you want to view everything in transparent mode, hit Z and then just go to wireframe. And then you can see through your mesh if you don't know how to do that. Anyway, so now this is pretty much all set to go except for one thing. Let's tab out. And then let's go over to your sidebar over here. What I'd like to do is I'd like to mirror the side I'm going to work on. That way I only have to do just one side at a time. So we're going to add a modifier. We're going to add the mirror modifier. Mirror modifier. Mirror modifier. My God. And clipping as well, which is exactly what I want now. So there you go. And so now we can start moving around our UVs and sculpting this guy out. Now we're going to be moving on to the legs, but before we do that, if you really wanted to, you could make everything one mesh, but the thing that I'm not going to be doing that. The legs and the torso, eventually they will be just one mesh, and the knees will be it will be a deforming object. The arms, however, they will be a separate object, as well as the head. The arms will deform at the elbow, but they'll be just floating in free space. Think kind of like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. A late PS1 hybrid. That's how I kind of look at it. But the neck itself, is more of a it's more of a rotating bar when you really think about it. It does not move very much. You can model it to move, but we're not going to do that. So, real fast, let's just tab. So we just go back to select mode. We're gonna go over here and hit apply. Now it's all one mesh and everything should work properly. And we can take advantage of that by singling this out by that slash button again, hitting 2, clicking all the lines are on the neck. Hit E to extrude. Hit S, and we're gonna bring it in like so. For now let's move on to the legs, and we're gonna do pretty much what we did with the torso, except legs, and we'll deal with the groin area whenever that comes. So when it comes to legs, you could use just a cube if you truly wanted to, but since we're kind of the higher echelons of our faces will probably be around 600 or 550, that's what I want, we can afford to use a hexagon. So let's do that. Hit Shift A, go to max, and there. Shift A, go up to mesh, go to cylinder again, and that's actually a pentagon, isn't it? Not hexagon. It's pentagon. We want penta. We want 5, specifically 5. All right, head back up. This top. Let's look at it. Yes, that looks very pretty. This is by far one of the more difficult parts of modeling. You gotta get the groin right. It's all about that groin action. And essentially, what we're gonna do is just have a space, and we may have to end up adding some polys here and there to make it work. But hey, we'll get it done. So, manhood aside, we're just going to grab the middle there and extrude it inward. Go back. I'm not worried too much about it, but there you go. From here, we'll have this little bit right here. You should have this little growing space right here. So let's move to the side. I may need to see this, and let's just follow the body up to about, say, the pubic mound. And those who don't like triangles in your meshes, too bad. We're doing some triangles. As long it'll bend right in here, so it's fine. It pinches there anyway in real life, so who cares? we will also have to merge these two together. So to do that, let's tab out because we're pretty much there anyway. What we'll need to do is you'll need to double check if one of the models has a mirror modifier on it. If it does, just go ahead and collapse it on both of them. You can now technically, if both of them have the mirror modifier on the same side and you collapse them together, you probably won't have any duplicate faces, but I've had issues in the past where that happened, so we're avoiding that. Collapse all your modifiers, it's done. Select the two models, go up to Object, Join, and voila, do the same thing. So let's single that out for a second, and go into wireframe mode so you can see everything, and we're going to, hello, don't look behind the curtain, and then we're just going to select all the faces on the left hand side or the right hand side, however you feel like working. I'm going to go left. Alright, double check to make sure everything's fine. Yes, we're not selecting anything we don't want. Delete that side, go back over to your mirror modifier, hit clipping, and we are ready and all set to go. So for LowPoly models, I like to just use squares, rotate them 45 degrees, and use that. It looks relatively round, and it works rather well. So let's do that. So make sure we're snapped forward. Shift A, and let's put a cube in. Alright, add that mirror modifier one more time. Scale that bad boy down, and there you go. Move over to the side again, and rotate it 45 degrees. And we're all set, ready to go. the face and head, you can make the nose as detailed as you want. For more cartoony stuff, yeah, you can put as much attention as you want, but you still want to maintain your face cap. So once again, I'm aiming for 550, 600 at the very top. As for the face itself, think of the face as a billboard with a picture of a face on it. Okay, pretty much what you're doing. So it's going to be relatively flat. No, flat. Think Harry Potter. Think Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone PS1 video game. Flat faces all around. Let's go. We are well below our threshold, and if you wanted to add any extra goodies or whatnot, you definitely could. You could definitely edit it about. And if you want, you can edit him however you want, and he's already set and ready to go. And the next thing we will do is unwrap him and texturing. But the next thing that we will do is unwrap and texturing. Before we do that, hold on. One last thing I want to show you is collapse that, and then we're just going to select everything. Go into everything, hit A, where are you? Mesh, shading, smooth. There you go, and everything's nice and smooth. There is the beginning. Next will be unwrapping and texturing, and now the question is, do you guys want hand-painted textures, which take a while, or would you like to scan in some real textures and use Photoshopery to make them look nice and do it like that? I'm not sure which. Leave comments leave comments below. I'll set up a poll if I can remember how to do that, and that will last for about a week. And then at the end of that week, whatever is decided is decided. And since this channel isn't very big, if no one decides anything, I will make the executive decision and show you whichever one I prefer. I will not tell you which one that is. So for now, I hope that you enjoyed, found this slightly edutainable, tutorial, and can use it to make your own things. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video whenever I make it. Oh, goodbye. Oh, goodbye. 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 Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm inside him.